Salesforce can feel overwhelming when you first open it. There are tabs, records, and so many features at once, but once you understand the flow, everything starts to connect. So today, we will take a simple and practical approach. We will go through features and show you how it fits into your daily work. By the end, you'll know how to move inside Salesforce with confidence. Let's get started. Now, when you first land inside Salesforce, you usually see the home page, and this is basically your control center. You get a quick view of what is happening, your recent records, your leads, and quick actions like creating new entries. So instead of jumping between pages, you can do a lot of your daily work right here. Then, one thing we always suggest you get comfortable with early is the search bar. You can just press / on your keyboard, type anything like a name or company, and go directly to that record. So instead of digging through menus, you just search and move fast. That alone can save a lot of time once your data grows. Now, before we go deeper, we need to understand one core concept. In Salesforce, everything is built around something called objects. And in simple terms, an object is just a type of record. So a person is a record, a company is a record, and a deal is also a record. So let's walk through the main ones you'll use. First, you have leads. This is where everything usually starts. A lead is someone who showed interest. Maybe they filled a form on your website, but you do not really know if they are ready to buy. So at this stage, they are just potential. And this is important because leads are not yet confirmed opportunities. You still need to check if they have the right need, the budget, and the timing. So this becomes your first filter step. Then, once a lead looks promising, you convert it. And this is where Salesforce becomes very practical. That single lead turns into 3 things automatically. It becomes a contact, which is the person, an account, which is the company, and an opportunity, which is the actual deal you're working on. So instead of creating everything manually, Salesforce connects all of that for you. And this is why the lead process is useful if you want a clean system. Now let's talk about contacts and accounts. Contacts are simply people you want to track, anyone you talk to, follow up with, or sell to. And accounts are the companies or organizations those people belong to. So if you work in B2B, this structure becomes very important because you're not just selling to one person, you're dealing with an entire company. And then comes opportunities, which is where actual business happens. These are your active deals. Once someone is qualified, they move here, and you track every stage of the deal until it is closed. Now, this is where something very useful comes in, which is the pipeline view, also known as Kanban view. So instead of just seeing data in a table, you see your deals as stages. For example, you might have stages like initial contact, meeting scheduled, proposal sent, and then closed. And you can drag deals from one stage to another as they progress. This is very helpful because now you're not just storing data, you're actually managing your sales process visually. And that's a big shift from spreadsheets. Also, one thing to keep in mind here, you don't want too many stages. Usually 4 to 7 stages are enough. If you go too high, it becomes confusing and hard to manage. Now let's open a record, because this is where you'll spend most of your time. When you click on any lead, contact, or opportunity, you'll see the full record view. On one side, you have all the details, like name, email, company, and other fields. And in the center, you have activities. Activities are things like calls, meetings, and tasks. So every time you interact with a customer, you log it here. And this builds a full history of your communication. And this is very powerful because now you don't rely on memory. Everything is tracked, and anyone in your team can see what is happening. Now, let's talk about automation, because this is where Salesforce really starts to save your time. Inside the setup area, you can create workflows using something called flows, and the logic is very simple. But one thing we always recommend is do not rush automation. First, understand your process. test it manually, and then automate it. Because if your process is not clear, automation will only make it more confusing. Salesforce is very flexible. You can change fields, layouts, and even how each page looks. You go into Setup, then Object Manager, and from there you can modify each object. So if your business needs extra fields like industry type, deal size, or custom notes, you can add those easily. But here's something important. Just because you can customize everything doesn't mean you should. Always keep your system simple and aligned with your real process. Salesforce is not just about storing data, it's about using that data to make decisions. Inside the Analytics section, you can create reports that show things like how many deals you have, how many are closing, and how your pipeline looks. So instead of guessing, you actually see numbers and trends, and this helps you plan better. So overall, if we bring everything together, Salesforce is not just a tool, it's a system that reflects how you do business. You capture leads, qualify them, convert them into structured data, track deals through stages, and automate repetitive work. And once you get comfortable with this flow, you'll notice that your work becomes more organized and your team stays aligned. That was all. Thanks for watching. If you found it helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more videos. And don't forget to share your experience in the comments.